That's a very
66.
unexpected pit stop.
Yeah, 66 is in pit
And
lane, so green flag. The hypercars are launched, and this is their chance. So great getaway for Paul Sitter there, of course. So they're already at an advantage. Let's see how they get on into turns 2 and 3. Have a side-by-side battle here for second position. 32 and 888 going side by side themselves. Now the LMP2s are released. A bit closer there, but Alpha, so far so good. They've got their car still in the lead. Side by side there. Play team getting close with the second Alpha, and that could be a tense moment there. And now the GT3s are coming, so it's all thick and fast here on Tune TV. So there we go, the Porsche and the Ferrari side by side, leading the way for the green signal. They're waiting a long time, and now they're ready to go, Stephen. So this is all developing in an instant.
it's gone absolutely wild as we go racing. We saw 3 wide into turn 1 for the LMP2s, but now let's see if the GT3s are going to do the same or a little bit more conservative. And it looks like it's going to be late braking and all. Side-by-side moments, not quite 3 wide, but definitely everyone climbing onto the anchors, trying to pull themselves all together, as it's all a very, very neat start for our GT3 class, as everyone's looking to try and break away at the start of the field, jockeying for position, looking left and right, trying to go late onto the brakes. I wonder if that's going to be the strategy for the first stint, or is it going to be pitting a little bit early, because these tires are definitely taking a beating. Is a little bit more rotation than planned for the GRT team as they try and make their way through. I mean, this is just absolute nose to tail racing. Everyone looking to try and get that little bit more of a climb, and now you've got a little bit of a situation. LMP2 up on the inside, gets past, and deep breath held by all drivers at that precise moment. And it's now closed up the battle for the GT3s as they fish around looking for any bit of grip possible out there on the track.
Yeah, that's one of the Alpha Racing Team cars trying to cut its way through the order. So yeah, that is pressure. They don't want to make any silly mistakes. Knowing so soon into the race, the first few laps have gone their way. They've just got to keep it going at the moment. So they've got Alpha Racing Team number 1 in first, and then the number 43 car is third position. So it's probably the battle for second at the minute coming up. So yeah, cutting through the traffic. And they had to work all over again, and now here's a look at the battle for second. I think this is on board now with Pointeau. He's got Chris Davis side by side. So RFRO trying to use a switchback here up the hill towards the turn 12, flat out in these hypercars. They've got traffic, just one particular Mercedes in the way. Oh, they're going to split up. Oh goodness. And that's a big relief for Davis to avoid contact with the Merc. And now he's spared the wrath of Pointeau for the moment anyway. More lap traffic coming with the GT3s. So that was a huge moment there and a big let off for Davis.
Way through, but now it's going to get busy as we got the hypercars and LMP2s together. A little bit more top end towards these two, and not the easiest of differences. So you're going to have to utilize burning those batteries as much as possible to straight line past. But for the LMP2s, this is going to be a bit of a hard run as Concept Motorsport going after United Racing goes late on the brakes, trying to pull it through. Not much room, a little bit of contact into turn 1, and it seems like United Sim Racing had to hold on, all utilizing everything they got. I think there is now groove marks of fingers in the steering wheels as these sim racers are pushing as hard as they can and just holding on by the nails at this point for late moves, seeing where the competition's going to go. But for Concept Motorsport, he looked to get that pass done, but Racing Heart was lined up on the left-hand side, and it's just getting a bit busy in the mid-pack.
This is the class to watch at the moment, Stephen. We've got 3 cars all within touching distance going for the lead.
I've got to say, this is going to be a bit of a close one. Team Phoenix at the moment is pushing as hard as they can to try and make up a bit of time. A little bit slower out of the final corner. Not ideal circumstances. Not going to get past the GT3 heading into turn 1. It's going to have to be a bit patient through turn 1. 2, 3, and we do have a bit of GT3s in the pits. We're getting a bit of confirmation there, but side by side for Stefano, who runs out a bit wide, and Nicola having to back off the throttle as a BMW crosses over the nose. That has just slowed up the Team Phoenix LMP2 car just a fraction, but Stefano, who was hoping for the BMW to back out of the corner a little bit earlier on, suddenly had a fright as he was parked off on the wrong side of the circuit, having to just drive around on one of the dirtiest side of the circuit. Marbles kicked up as we continue on lap 40. Where do you look? Front, out your front windscreen, in your mirrors? I mean, it's just busy all over.
Of course, yeah, definitely. What you've got to do, of course, is mind your mirrors for perhaps 1 or 2 glimpses. Then you've got to look forward to make sure you're not missing your braking point. You could hit someone in the back. And Ponto, wow, he's taken advantage of the BMW blocking Davis. And yeah, maybe Davis will have a word about that, saying that might have been a use of a cut in the road to gain an advantage, but he'll say it's opportunism. So Corentin Pointeau for RFRO Simsport has taken 2nd position with a great piece of blink and you miss it driving opportunism. He will be pleased with that. So that changes how the hypercar class looks with the SRG team well up the road at this stage. It is P2 now for Pointeau. There we go, they'll make sure they're well out of the way. But yeah, this is crucial stuff now. Play team want to really make themselves stand up and make the other competitors notice. And there we go, we get right in the back. The spoiler is going to be shaking. Oh, sliding around the track is Silvino. Let's see, or Silvino. Let's see, is there the inside line of turn 4 open for an attack? It's coming. No, it's thwarted away now. One of the other GT3s is going to have to move aside. It is the Ferrari now. Oh, that's unfortunate. Rodriguez is going to lose a little bit of his flow, but it's not the end of the world here.
He is not backing down from the fight. These 2 drivers for the LMP2s, now bear in mind, these cars don't have ABS. They don't have stuff to stop the brakes from locking up, so you've got to be so cautious as he tries to go around the outside. A little bit of side-on contact. This has gone from prototype racing to DTM racing, and I'm talking about old DTM or touring cars. He loses it.
And definitely a breath of relief there as the Porsche gets away with one. So we'll see if this carries on as normal. So yeah, Marabia, yeah, definitely the big winners here, but head-to-head for 9th and 10th in the class. Kuna, is it finally done here? Has he made the move? Watching out for those LMP2s coming. There's one past, and now the other. And now the Ferrari is that a contest here for position. The fetching orange and blue.
It is.
Yes, Melbourne for FSM in the 26 or FSIM. They're all here in a big group.
This has become a very interesting time. The 488 versus the Porsche 991, and the BMW just managing to get the run in. I mean, this is turning into wild moments for the GT3 cars, because no matter where they go, as we do see the F-Sim racing by one move, losing out that little bit of time, goes for the pass though, dives in on the inside, drag race on the way through. Can he get ahead of the racing club? It's going to be late on the brakes. Who's going to be late of the last breakers? And it does look like it may be the F-Sim, just as the Porsche gets unsteady under braking, has the rear snapping out underneath him.
Down the laps now. It's lap 63 for the lead hypercar. These GT2s probably a dozen laps down at this stage. They're definitely coming thick and fast, or maybe 8 laps down at the front with the class leader in the 17. So all going on, and it's far from over.
That was a bit of a rollout of the carpet, open the door after you, dear sir, type of moment. But I've got to say, I'm noticing something from this onboard, and call me a little bit skeptical, but I'm seeing a bit of change here. Shadows are being cast a little bit longer around the circuit. The sun reflection is getting a little bit more hectic. I think we're starting to get a little bit into a stage where drivers are getting the sun in their eyes, the brake markers are starting to fade into the shadows and into the reflections, and now it is getting a little bit tricky as it was a Mercedes sandwich and Jeffrey having to try and figure out where to go. He's on the attack at the moment, but a couple of the faster GT3s making short work of him, but turning into an easy effort as he slides his way around. So I think the change in day is now starting to play a monumental effect.
Nice and early to make sure they don't block Bruno's progress, because Thibaut Malbrun here is going for it now. He's ready to see if there's an opening.
Tries to look around, but you can see how he's just having to go a little bit late on the braking around the outside. Thibaut having to do everything he can. The Ferrari 488 just having a little bit more traction. Bruno having to go very defensive. The Grow Racing Team Gold having to get a little bit elbows out, and here comes one of the SRG LMDHs. This is the Porsche going after the back of him, and it's going to be battling out. That is the 32 car that's trying to carve his way through, but has he opened up a bit of a gap for Thibaut to get past? No, Bruno managing just to hold, but not this time. Couldn't get in for the double apex. Ferrari getting ahead of Mercedes, but has he got the drive? Switches over to the fringes of the circuit, runs him out to the fringes. Yeah, I think there's going to be a bit of words there, but on the brakes, Bruno trying to come back at him. And I think if there's going to be whispers towards the team here, Thibaut is in a little bit of a wrong spot. But the G League Esports is really on the back of Jose, who's trying to keep it all together as Yaman looks on the inside, puts his nose in. Can he carry the momentum through? Comes slightly across, needs to defend through the S's. Bit of door to door, bit of wheel arch to wheel arch, and it looks like he's made it stick. But here comes Jose instantly onto the anchors, trying to pull it back. Our LDMH running behind, now getting into a fight, and does look like one of the LMP2s. So while they're giving the GT3 space, it's getting into an absolute traffic jam behind them. Oh, a bit of contact as Jose a little bit late on the brakes, and now suddenly it is just a fight all the way through. That is the last of the SRG teams. It's just trying to take a little bit of comfort at the moment to carry his way through. Suddenly it got very, very busy as even the Team Phoenix LMP2 goes and gets past eventually, but Jose capitalizing on the mistake that's been, or the door that's been open, could quite carry the momentum through. G League Esports having a bit of a tough time out there to carry all that momentum. Are they starting to feel the same? Is the brake starting to drop off? Did we have a bit of information that maybe other teams are listening in and going, hold the phone, they've got a problem here, so we need to just do XYZ to ensure we stay ahead? But for the others, like our GT3s, how their brakes starting to feel, because we've seen many a times that these guys are having to stomp on the anchors just to try and avoid going into the doors of one another, and also their fellow competitors, as we do surrender, going extremely late on the brakes, talking about it to catch up to the Porsche ahead of him of the Maraba ST364. I mean, that was case in point. How much life is left in the brakes to keep doing that? That is going and take you through. So complete utter change as the drivers needing to push. But we're taking a look at the battle for third. This is AJR home at Porto, dealing with Sinister Racing onto the back of him. The 488 Ferraris are battling out the prancing horses, going at one another, charging their way through. This is a fight for the third place. And now it is going to be all about snapping that toe for AJR. They don't want to move too much to scrub off too much speed. They have to try and keep it in check. But in turn, they want to make it difficult for the Sinister Race team, who seems to have a little bit more downforce, loses out that straight line, gets to try and close up through the corner. So maybe a bit more downforce for the cornering for Sector 2 to make up that time, but losing out in Sector 1, which is more straight line speed. Unfortunately, a little bit slow on the exit, but we do jump over to the number 72 LMP2. That is in a race of its own, trying to make up a bit of time. Hard on the anchors to the United Sim Racing, the RKT competition, lying in 5th, and you can see the SRG, the last of the SRGs, going and trying to make his way through as well. So United Sim Racing P2, NATO needing to go and break a little bit earlier, allows the RKT competition to get on by and launch that attack. So beautifully executed, but now they've got to try and work through the battle just ahead of them. Slowly but surely got to snake their way through. Sinister Racing team actually coming off the throttle. It looks like one of the SRG, well, that is the SRG 3 team trying to keep it all together, gets out of shape. RKT gets past. He's going to go around the outside of the likes of the AJR, gets it all booked in, and that leaves United Sim Racing caught in between them as he tries to get the power down early to get past the AJR. And that is, I think it's an Elf team that is landed up off into the dirt, losing our bit of time. One of our LMHs. Nearly a contact against the Mercedes, but we may see a change up as we see Silva Vera drop down as Rodrigo gets the pass done, and it is the Sinister Race team up into 3rd. Coming up to a GT3 car, and it's all it takes is Pedro to just go and box him into a situation. Nikolai to pick the wrong line, and he will lose out this 4th position. It is a wild chase as we get onto the final closing stages of the race. It's hard on the brakes. Nikolai trying everything he can to get as much drive, dives to the inside line, sees Pedro is into the slipstream, closing. Is it going to stay on the inside line? He is. He's going to take the dive, goes on the brakes, sends it in. Will he lock it in? It's going to be late. The Team Phoenix is going to try and battle it out. It's going to be a drag race down the main straight. Here comes one of our LMHs to make it quick work, but it's nose to tail. United Sim Racing and Team Phoenix are going to chase each other down into turn 1. Who's the last of the late breakers? Team Phoenix trying everything they can. They got the advantage of the inside line, and it's going to be a rough shot all the way through into the S's. Not backing down. Pedro trying everything to put the pressure on Nikolai. Both went side by side. Turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, and now heading into turn 5. It's going to be hard on the brakes. Can Nikolai get it in? He does. Absolutely still staying in with a shout. These two are hammer and tongs. This is a boxing match of note. We are seeing the fight of titans at the moment, and United Sim Racing P2 comes out on top, but just at the moment. But Team Phoenix is not done just as yet.
Those Italian horses are galloping. They really want to get past this Porsche. Turn 4 is possibly it now. He's really eager on the brakes. They're going to go side by side again, but it's enough at last. So yeah, the mistake at turn 14, misjudging his brakes, that was able to work out just fine in the end. And now we have an OSR Merc, perhaps in a different part of the course. We'll probably get a look at the windshield LED to confirm, but yeah, I don't think this is for position.
Play team is now under stress because they're going to lose the top 5 if they come off the throttle. And Nikolai Murkov has been told to release the hounds. He's bringing the revs all the way up, and I can tell you he is not hanging back. Play team gets caught up behind the GT3s and LMH, and now the rocking fight goes on for LMP2. Play team is in a bit of a problem right now. They're in a bind. wherever we look. Charles, I hope you got eyes all over the monitors because we have got racing everywhere, whether you're at the top 5, whether you're below the top 5, or whether you're in first place of the GT3s. We got racing until the end here, and we're going to be following all the way through, ladies and gentlemen. So hope you're ready for this. As Play Team trying to hold the inside line, late on the brakes, undercut maybe 14 Phoenix. They're going to try it.
They are absolutely here, Stephen. Let's have a wheel-to-wheel. No, a little bit too close for comfort maybe, but Bezhrikov doesn't give up whatsoever until there was absolutely nothing else available. Stanislas Pio has absolutely, alongside partner in Team Iris, the duo have swept the board here, Stephen. This is absolutely remarkable stuff. Congratulations to Stanislas and Chris Davis. Remy Delorme, he's got the victory secured for RKT competition, so they're starting their year with a perfect introduction. So they mean business in 2024-25 with season 5. But look at this now, across the line, cars all over the shop. But Diogo Silva has the 12 seconds in the pocket to take the GT3 crown